Are you ready for some football? I know I am. It's Craig Bennett, aka Cash Cake, here with DFSArmy. And Thursday, we have the Hall of Fame game. Dallas Cowboys at the Pittsburgh Steelers at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got some big contests up here. I'm going to break down this a little bit with you and talk about what we have offer at DFSArmy. So let's dive in and see what we got. All right. One thing we want to do is talk about what we got going over at DFSArmy here. At DFSArmy, if you sign up with promo code Preseason, you get 50% off your first month of VIP, and the link is below if you want to check on that. We're going to have projections for every preseason NFL slate. We've got lots of goodies for preseason as well as regular season coming up for NFL. It's going to be a massive season, a lot of fun. So hit that link, use promo code Preseason, save yourself 50% off. And then we're going to have cheat sheets as well for preseason. So we're going to break down kind of on the depth chart, kind of have some notes, what's going on, who to attack. And you can go in our Discord and we will chat about those games as well. So I'm going to pull up the Draftkings here. They got some massive contests for this preseason game on Thursday. 50K up top for the Draftkings one and 20K up top for the Fanduel one. So we'll dive in, talk a little bit about it, roster construction, kind of how you attack these things. Kind of the news that we got now. I know we'll have a little bit more news and we'll continue to update our cheat sheet. So if you want access to that or the projections that we'll have for preseason games, you got to head over, hit that link, jump in and get access to it and win some money. So let's look at this DraftKings a little bit more. So I got the DraftKings pulled up. Again, it doesn't matter if it's DraftKings. It doesn't matter if it's FanDuel. It's going to be the same. There's no salary structure when it comes to preseason. So this is where the information is really key. You know, we don't have to worry about point per dollar, all that. It really depends on what's going on with the players themselves, how much playing time they're going to get. And that's really key when it comes to preseason football. What the coaches are going to do. You know, you really got to get out there and look at the beat writers, and we do all that for you. So again, head on over and see what we got over at DFSArmy, and all that stuff will be behind the paywall. The big thing for preseason as well is, you know, there's so many guys that are going to get playing time that are trying to make that roster, the last 53. So, you know, it's a little bit different this year than it has been in the past. In the past, we had 4 preseason games. This year, we only have 3. So things are going to be a little bit different. I would assume that week 2 is when we'll see a lot more of the starters. And then, you know, week 3 preseason, we won't see them at all. So I kind of don't think we're going to see a lot of preseasons this first game and then the third one. So again, once we get news, we're going to continue to update the projections and the cheat sheets all the way up until the game locks. But there's a lot of edge to be had in preseason. You know, there's a lot of digging information and finding these reports coming out of the camps and you know, a lot of coach speak and how the coaches do these things. But the big thing here, you know, just looking at the last 2 preseason games, we didn't have preseason in 2020. We had that in 2019 and 2018. And these games finished 14-10 with Broncos over the Falcons. And then in 2018, we had Baltimore over the Bears at 17-16. So the defenses are going to come and play a lot here. You know, these teams haven't been in camp very long, you know, so not being in camp, you know, the rhythm's probably not there, you know, a little bit rusty. You know, we could see a few more sacks, maybe some interceptions from these quarterbacks, you know, that are just going to be slinging it around. So defenses are massively in play on both sides here. I think you could throw them up and cap them if you want to, for sure. You know, it's a spot I would definitely look at playing both of these defenses on either side of it. I don't think it's going to be a massively high scoring game on either side of it. And then the injuries that we have as well. So if we look at the Dallas side of things, Prescott's got a shoulder injury, so he's not going to be playing at all. Cooper is on the PUP list, so he's not going to be playing at all. I don't think he's going to come back. I think they said until maybe the second or third preseason game. I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, I mean, he's just not going to play this game. So I don't think they're going to play Elliott. I don't think Gallup or Lamb are going to play as well. I don't think we're going to see a lot of these starters as well. If we go back and just kind of look at some of these first preseason games, it's mainly the second and third stringers here. So, when we talk about playing time, if we know Prescott's not going to play and we just look at the depth chart at the quarterback position on the Cowboys, Rush is number 2. Cooper Rush is number 2. And then they got Gilbert and then DiNucci. I think DiNucci is going to get most of the playing time here. Those are the 3 quarterbacks that they have. And we have that on both sides. We're going to have 3 quarterbacks on both sides. It's nice, kind of like in 2018 when we knew the Bears only had 2 quarterbacks. When we get to some of these bigger slates, that's really important. If we have teams that only have 2 quarterbacks on the roster active that they're going to play, it's all about volume in the preseason. So I do think Ben DiNucci is the kind of guy that it's going to play a ton here. He's the kind of guy I'd look at. I don't know if I'll play a lot of Gilbert or Rush. If we look over on the Pittsburgh side of things, I don't think Roethlisberger is going to play. Rudolph probably could start. He's, second string here. And then we brought Haskins over from Washington. So we got Haskins and Dobbs. I think Haskins is the one, Tomlin came out and said he's going to get some extensive playing time this game. I think he's a guy that he's going to be a massive play here. I don't think, you can play him up in captain. You can, like you said, you can play defense up in captain. I'm just going to throw one of the defenses up in captain here. I don't think it matters which way you go. But if you're playing skill position players, I would focus on the quarterbacks and running backs. The wide receivers are going to be a little bit tough to peg. As we get information, we update the projections and update the cheat sheets. But if we go back and just look at a couple of these preseason games and the Hall of Fame games over the last few years, I mean, you're getting, 10 to 15 guys getting targets with, very rarely guys get more than 4 or 5 targets a game. So, we just have to find those guys that are going to get those opportunities, and focus on them. And as we get more information, we update the cheat sheets and projections that should reflect in their opportunity. But when we have more games, it's not just one. That's when we can definitely dive in and peg those guys, because it's all about opportunity cost when it comes to the preseason. So we'll go back to Dallas here. Like I said, I think DiNucci's the one that's going to play a lot. I prefer Haskins over DiNucci if you're choosing one, but those are the 2 that I'm really going to be looking at to attack heavily. I just think that they're the ones that are going to get most of the playing time. So those are the ones I'm going to look at. But Haskins, we've seen what he could do. We saw what he could do at Ohio State. We saw what he could do a little bit. And if he's going to be going up against some, second and third stringers, I do think, he might be able to get us a touchdown and some yards here. So a guy I would look at. The running back, I don't think we'll see Elliott. I don't think we'll see a bunch of Pollard either. I mean, McCarthy talked a little bit about not pushing Elliott, 20, 25 carries a game, or touches a game. And, I think they were pretty impressed with Pollard did last year. So I think they're going to be more splitting the workload here. So I kind of see Pollard as, as a starter with Elliott. They'll probably, run them guys out so they're fresh. We got that one extra regular season game. So Dottle's a guy I'm looking at. You got the rookie Hardy and Knox as well, but the third string running back so far is Dottle. So that's the kind of guy I would look at. Some of these rookies I don't mind playing a little bit, but I think Dottle's the guy that I'm going to be look at if I'm going to play a running back on the Cowboys side. He would be my first guy. And then Hardy and Knox at the rookies. They could get a little bit of run here, but I'm going to look more on the Dottle side. And the wide receivers, again, I don't think we're going to see Cooper, Gallup, or Lamb, which are the 3 starting wide receivers for the Cowboys. Same with Jarwin or Schultz at the tight end. I don't think we'll see a lot there. Could see some, Sean McKeon. I don't mind taking a, shot at him at tight end. If you're playing this massive tournament with high upside, maybe look at a guy like him. But a guy like Fehoko behind Cooper, he's the number 2 right behind Cooper. Look at him. Smith or Vasher, all 3 of these rookies are guys that could do something. But I do like taking some chances here at Fehoko. I do like him. Underneath Gallup, Wilson, Parker, Mitchell, Eagles. All guys that we can look at. Like I said, I think your pool is, I'm going to have a pretty tight, quarterback that I want to play. a few running backs on each team, of course, the defenses, and then I'm going to have just a plethora of wide receivers on each team, and then kind of adjust the exposures how I see fit. But your wide receiver pool, just like in regular seasons, it's just a little bit more spread out. And if we can kind of pinpoint where we think some of these targets are going to go, but Fehoko is probably my favorite for the Cowboys right now until I see a little bit more information out there. I don't know if you saw any of the preseason with the Cowboys, but Gallup caught a touchdown pass in practice and flipped over the fence last week. They said he's fine. But again, I just don't think they're going to run these guys out here. There's no reason for it. They said Lamb's looking really good. Both of them, the route trees have got really good. The routes, they look super smooth. Lamb could probably have a big year this year, but when it comes to preseason, I don't really want a whole lot of them. Underneath Lamb, we got Brown, Turner, and Dixon. Again, we'll just keep updating our depth charts and who we like here. But again, I'm going to be focused more on DiNucci and Dottle if I'm playing a cash setting or just the guys that I'm going to be super heavy on. Over on the Pittsburgh side, again, I don't think Roethlisberger playing. We talked about the quarterbacks. Haskins is going to be our guy. And then running back situation. It's a little bit different here because the starting running back for Pittsburgh is Najee Harris, and he's a rookie. And are they going to play him any here at the first? That's something got to dig a little bit into. He might see some playing time because Snell did miss Monday's practice. So once we get a little bit more information when it comes to Snell and if he's going to play or not, they might have to just play Harris. Maybe they want to see what he can do for a series or two. But being the starting running back, I don't think they're going to run him out there too much. So I don't think he's a guy I want to get a ton of exposure to. But I do want to see what Tomlin is saying and if he's going to play Harris a series or two, or if he's just going to sit him out and not play him. That's something that we just going to have to keep an eye on here. But Snell being out, I think the big one here is McFarland. He sits number 3 in the running back depth chart. He is teaming up with his old offensive coordinator, Canada, when he was back in Maryland. So, maybe he, understands the playbook a little bit. Maybe he wants to try to impress him a little bit. But basically it's McFarland, Samuels, and Ballage. I think McFarland's the guy I want the most of if I'm picking a running back on the Pittsburgh side. So Dowdle and McFarland, I think, are my favorite guys right now. But again, we could see, Samuels, and Ballage, they've been in the league a little bit. I just can't see them getting a ton of run, but, guys that if you want to sprinkle in, if you're doing 150, but if I'm focusing on, a single entry or 3 max, I think these are the guys that I'm going to be super heavy on. And then when it comes to the wide receivers here, they don't have, when it comes to skill positions so far in the depth chart, when we're looking at Pittsburgh, they're not quite as deep as the Cowboys. So, Juju, Claypool, Johnson, Ebron, I don't know if a lot of them will play if at all. So, we can look at guys like behind Juju, we got McLeod and Johnson there. Behind Claypool, we got White and McCoy, the rookie, and Simmons. And then Deontay Johnson behind him, we got Washington, a rookie, and Busey and Sexton. And then on the tight end, there's one guy that I'm interested in because, I'm a Big Ten guy, man. I grew up watching Fighting Illini, but all the Big Ten. So, but Freiermuth, man, from Penn State, he's a freak. He's 6'5", 258, run a 4.8, 540. Just big play upside. Maybe he's a guy that can get open and do some damage. So I don't mind taking a shot at maybe him in tournaments. But like I said, it looks like on the Pitt side, if we figure out that the starters are not going to play in this game, then, there could be more targets for them because they're just not quite as deep. If we look behind Cooper, they're 4 deep, behind Juju, they've got McLeod and Johnson. So I think I would go a little bit heavier on the Pittsburgh side that I would look at things. And I said those defenses. So again, we're going to keep updating things over at DFSArmy. We get a lot of good things coming up for the NFL season, the regular season as well. We're going to add a few things to our domination station, which is our optimizer. We're adding ceiling projections to that so you can build through that. We're going to be continue adding more and more tools. So again, head on over and use promo code Preseason and save yourself 50% that VIP membership up until August 18th. And then it goes back to regular price. In every preseason slate, we're going to have projections in our domination station to build 150 lineups if you want, as well as breakdowns, depth charts, kind of what we're looking at, injury. So it's all in one. You can build lineups and win some of that money. So with that, again, head on over, sign up, use the link below, and hopefully this will help you win some money this Thursday. Again, I'm so happy NFL is back. And if I was going to bet on this game before I get out of here, I would lean on the Pittsburgh side. I always like to lean on the side where I feel like they have the edge in quarterbacks. And I just feel like with Rudolph and Haskins and Dobbs, they just have a little bit of an edge in the quarterback situation. So I would lean that if you're wanting to make a preseason wager. But with that, head on over to DFSArmy. I'm Cash Gag. I'll see you on the flip side. Deuces.